It's good news, bad news in the jobs market. The bad news first, hiring slowed in September. The good news, the unemployment rate also dropped with the number of available openings at near record levels. Local cities tracked by the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development all show falling unemployment rates. Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, Crystal, Maple Grove, and Plymouth have the lowest unemployment rates since March 2020 at the start of the pandemic. The ongoing worker shortage is also impacting the pet industry. Many vet clinics report not having enough staff. This as pet adoptions have soared. CCX reporter Jason Malillo takes a look at this pet dilemma.
Kayla Johnson has been a veterinary technician at Animal Humane Society for 5 years.
I feel like I grew up in a zoo with a bunch of different types of animals, and eventually I just decided that that's what I wanted to do for a living.
Vet techs, sometimes called vet nurses, wear a lot of hats and are essential in animal welfare. But when COVID hit, a lot of vet techs stopped working or left the field.
Because the threat to their health was bigger than the positive aspects of continuing to work.
Then everyone went out and got a dog or got a cat.
So increase in patients and a decrease in the number of staff, particularly veterinary technicians.
And it's hard to fill those vacancies.
Most vet techs in Minnesota came through Globe, MSB, Argosy, local for-profit colleges that were shut down.
That's creating long wait times at vet clinics and animal hospitals.
Less staff, less veterinarians, and more pets. So the caseload has just skyrocketed.
Pet owners are frustrated with the long waits, and some do lose their tempers.
Unfortunately, we have seen a significant uptick in people using foul language and really lashing out.
Getting an appointment now can take several months, and that might be the new normal.
Dakota County just created a vet tech school. The University of Minnesota is looking at a vet tech program. There's several that are in the works, but it takes several years to get them going, and then 2 years for them to crank out a vet tech. So that's 5-7 years till we actually have a lot more vet techs being produced.
So for now, pet owners will have to be patient and try to remember the folks in animal welfare are doing their best.
We try and get everyone in as soon as we can, especially if it's an urgent matter.
We really love critters. We want to help them.
Jason Malillo, CCX News.
Many emergency vet clinics are being forced to shut down periodically due to a lack of staff. Mike Henson at the University of Minnesota says if your animal has a true emergency, consider traveling to an emergency vet clinic outside of the metro area if possible. The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office is also looking to hire. This as the department and other police agencies look to curb a rise in crime. Hennepin County Sheriff Dave Hutchison says he plans to ask the county board to approve the hire of a very large number of deputies. During an interview with WCCO Radio this week, Hutchison also said the sheriff's office has not been affected by the officer shortage like many suburban agencies. Hutchison said his office recently hired the most diverse class in its history, hiring 15 deputies, a majority were persons of color. The push to get more people vaccinated against COVID-19 is working slightly in Minnesota. More people received their shots in September compared to the previous month. Young children are also possibly weeks away from getting their first doses, pending FDA approval. The vaccination push comes as case rates this week reached the highest level since before the COVID-19 vaccines became available. The Minnesota Department of Health reported on Thursday that the test positivity rate for COVID-19 reached 8.4%. That's the highest since December 13th. Meanwhile, the growth of schools reporting outbreaks has slowed, with 21 currently on the list from the CCX News viewing area. 2 schools from our area were added, Northwoods Elementary in Plymouth and Rush Creek Elementary in Maple Grove. Schools are removed from the list if they don't have any new infections over a 4-week period. Local police are trying to get unneeded prescription drugs out of medicine cabinets and out of the wrong hands. Next weekend, Plymouth will offer a way to pick up a product to dispose of unwanted or expired prescription drugs.
A product called Deterra drug destruction bags, and we have a number of those that we pass out. And what this allows people to do is actually deactivate or destroy the prescription drugs that they're not using anymore in a bag, and then they can safely dispose of them in the trash.
The city will distribute the bags at a drive-through event at the Plymouth Public Safety Building parking lot from 10 a.m. until noon on Saturday, October 23rd, which is also National Drug Take-Back Day. The Department of Employment and Economic Development handed out its first round of grants to organizations that will help revitalize communities. African Career Education and Resource Incorporated, or ACER, is one of those beneficiaries. The Brooklyn Center nonprofit will receive a $312,000 grant and then distribute the funds to businesses in commercial corridors in Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center to support economic recovery from COVID-19 and social unrest. Some stores and businesses in Brooklyn Center were destroyed or heavily damaged after the police shooting of Daunte Wright last April. And here's a reason why you should go have an apple today. Students in Robbinsdale schools celebrated Great Lakes Great Apple Crunch Day on Thursday.
3, 2, 1.
Students at Pilgrim Lane Elementary celebrated by crunching into local apples from a Wisconsin orchard. This collective crunch is supposed to encourage healthy eating and support farm-to-school initiatives in the Great Lakes region.
The goal is to get the kids excited to eat fresh produce and let them learn a little bit more about where their food comes from. So today, waiting and trying to encourage the students to crunch together in celebration for our local farmers is really what today is all about, to increase awareness that our food is local, and we try our best to feature it as often as we can on the menus.
As you can tell, students enjoyed their apples.